Now, every now and again you get to speak to someone on this show who you sort of idolise and you look up to and you really think a lot about. I mean, listen, I love Cleverly and Tony Bellew. He's a lovely kid. I love Tony's mum. She's a nice woman. He's got a good family, and Nathan's a great guy. His dad's a fantastic people. But I'm talking about sort of different, because all too often, really, too many people talk about this British legend or that British legend. Well, in the 70s, when I started in the fight game, people talked about one man in particular, not just in South London. He'd won a British, Commonwealth and European title at lightweight and twice fouled in real, I mean proper dramatic world title fights, hold the back page title fights. People talked about him in reverent and hushed tones. I met him in the 70s and I had a picture done with him about 25 years ago, and I've still got that picture. It's on the wall up in my office. Me and a few other people, but me and he's in the picture. So it was a delight when I arranged to reach out and speak to him about his new book. It is, of course, Dave Charnley, the Dartford Destroyer, and arguably the best British fighter to never win a world title. I spoke to him and Jim Kirkwood, the man who helped him write the book, and I started by asking Dave how old he was when he left Dartford Amateur Boxing Club and joined the Fitzroy Lodge.
I must have been a senior by the time I got to Fitzroy.
Okay. Now, Dave, what's your earliest memories as a young boxer, a young fighter?
Well, excitement, really. The good training and everything else that we had, and there were shows there which I'd never seen before, obviously being a youngster, and the crowds were good and everything else there. And the little prizes made you feel quite pleasant.
Little prizes like an electric blanket and a tea set and things like that?
Something like that, yeah. There wasn't too much there at that time.
Now, Dave, who do you think, and we'll get on to talk in detail, but who do you consider to be the best fighter you ever met?
Well, I should imagine Emil Griffiths, Kenny Lane.
All good fighters. The Emil Griffiths fight is very strange because you're a lightweight and he was actually the world welterweight champion when you boxed him. What was the thinking behind that, Dave? Can you remember?
No, silly thinking. No, I thought I was okay. Actually, I was quite good up until the last round, wasn't it? I think he got me.
He got you in the ninth. I think he dropped you in the 8th and got you in the 9th.
In the 9th, was it?
Yeah. Well, Dave, what do you consider to be your best night in the ring? 61 professional fights, but what do you think was your best night in the ring?
Well, I don't know. I had a nice fight with Kenny Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another one here with, what's his name, with Peter Waterman. He was one of the...
He was a great British fighter, and of course I was watching.
He was a welterweight, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Without my weight again.
I was watching your 40-second British title defence against Darky Hughes, and that was so vicious, Dave. Did you have something against Darky Hughes?
No. It was more a surprise than anything, actually. I thought he was a very good boxer and that, and has a good record, and I expected him to take me for quite a few rounds. I thought it was going to be a hard fight, but unfortunately I saw his chin went there, and just a reaction that I had, and I clobbered him, and that was it. Finished.
It certainly was it finished. Do you have any regrets, Dave, about your boxing career? Things that you'd maybe do differently if you had a second chance?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
I think if you do something and it's all natural and everything else, it's rather than having something that you've staged, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you certainly didn't stage it. Now, the most amazing thing, Dave, is that world title fight, the one you had here against Joe Brown, 15 rounds. Most people consider that you won it, and yet you didn't get the decision.
No, it's terrible.
That seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yes, but there we are. That's English here, isn't it? I thought I'd won thing. I wouldn't have, if I'd won and if I'd got the decision and I thought I'd lost, then I wouldn't have been appreciative, really.
Dave, I'm going to ask you about one more fight. Do you remember that fight in Kingston, Jamaica, outdoors? I think it was in the pouring rain against Bunny Grant when the pair of you kept falling over.
That's right, yes.
He fell out of the ring, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a terrible thing, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, obviously you lost, but that must have been that was a hell of a night, big crowd.
Yeah, it was fantastic, really. I mean, the whole session that we had there, I mean, they were very, very good. Something else. And I saw a lot of things there that made me think. Which they had out there certain things that we didn't have over in England, you know, equipment and other things.
Now Dave, since you finished boxing, you had the hairdressing salons and the property. Are you fully retired now, or are you still dabbling in the property business?
No, unfortunately, we're sitting here with not much work because of the recession, actually.
Oh.
But I don't know, by the time it turns around, I think I may be too old to do it.
Dave, let me just bring in Jim. Jim?
Yeah.
Now, you've helped Dave put together a book. Tell me about the book and tell me how people can go about buying it.
Well, I mean, it was a labour of love as far as I was concerned. When I was a young lad, I used to watch the boxing on the television, and my heroes were Billy Walker and Dave. And I really think that the reason why Dave was my hero was my father had told me he was actually Scottish, and that always stuck with me. And I always thought he was a great fighter, very fit and very strong, and I thought that nobody had written a book about him previously, and I thought that was a gap that needed to be filled. So with Dave's permission, we set sail in January this year, and the book's now ready.
Oh, wow.
And we're having a launch at 2 venues in Dartford tomorrow, 10 o'clock at the Brent Social Club and 2 o'clock at Mitchell's Carpet Shop in the centre of the town. And then, fortunately, the London Ex-Boxers Association have allowed us to come there on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock to a place called the William Blake Public House in Old Street.
Okay.
So Dave and I will be there, and I just hope somebody buys the book.
And that's on Sunday at the William Blake. What time?
11 o'clock.
William Blake, 11 o'clock at Old Street on Sunday. Now, Dave, just one final question for you, Dave. When you were boxing back then, Dave, were you a boxing fan? Did you watch a lot of your colleagues fighting, or was it something that was just about you and then you'd go home?
It was something about me, and that was it. I didn't particularly like watching too much. And I lived in Dartford, which was a long way from London. I mean, it was at least an hour's travel to the arenas and all that there. But no, I didn't really like watching boxing at all, actually.
And do you watch it now sometimes on TV, Dave?
Yes, now and again I see something, yes.
Something that you like, or something that's just okay?
Something that is very good at times now, isn't it? They've got some quite good fighters about now.
But I tell you what, it's a big business at the moment. People forget that. It's a big business at the moment. Lots of shows, lots of fighters. Listen, Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Good luck with the book, and I hope to get to see you soon. And Jim, thank you for joining us too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cheers, thank you very much.
I'm sure that the Dave Charnley book will be available on Amazon, and I'll try and give you an update next week. Perhaps I'll get a direct contact number. That was Dave Charnley and Jim Kirkwood there. Dave fought 61 times, winning 48 and stopping 27 during a fantastic career. And that London Ex-Boxers Association LIBA meeting is at the William Blake Public House, or Boozer, in Old Street in East London, and it's this Sunday at 11 o'clock. And he did meet some amazing men. As I say, when he fought Emil Griffiths was the welterweight champion of the world, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, and Dave was still a lightweight. And 2 fights later, I think Griffiths fights for the world title and loses to Don Fulmer on points at middleweight. I mean, you just can't get your head around what those guys did back then. That was Dave Charnley. What a delight it was. Now, next